Imagine 1,000,000 square feet of empty convention center space packed with 123 identical courts, swarming with over 24,000 players, coaches, and parents. That massive logistical undertaking happens over Easter weekend at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, hosting a youth volleyball tournament where nearly 1,000 different teams cycle through relentless, non-stop matches. This receipt breaks down the mandatory spending for a single family attending. Between the $950 entry fee, mandatory hotel partnerships that force families into specific rooms, inflated concession prices, and streaming packages, a mother and daughter easily spend $1,500 in a single weekend. Multiply that weekend trip by 4 required tournaments across a travel season, add in thousands of dollars in baseline club dues to rent gym space and pay coaches, and a pretty typical youth sports experience quickly nears $11,500 for a single year. Parents endure this constant nickel and diming because they are chasing a specific return on their investment. They are trying to secure a college athletic scholarship to offset tuition costs that regularly top $50,000 a year. But this funnel visualizes the actual statistical probability. The massive pool of youth players at the top drastically outnumbers the available roster spots at the bottom, leaving fewer than 6% to play in college, and even fewer receive financial aid. The desperation to secure that statistical anomaly creates a reliable, self-perpetuating $40 billion a year ecosystem, and that steady cash flow is exactly what attracts institutional investors. League One Volleyball, or LOVB, is a 2-year-old organization that presents itself as an empowering, grassroots-focused professional women's league, explicitly designed to create a pipeline from youth courts directly to the pros. But look at the corporate architecture underneath the jerseys. The league has raised nearly $200 million from major private equity firms like Eras Management and Left Lane Capital, and they've used that money to systematically buy up 90 different youth volleyball clubs across the country. Starting a professional sports league is an incredibly risky venture that burns through cash. To mitigate that risk, private equity relies on the youth side of the operation. They need those steady, ever-increasing club dues from parents to subsidize the professional experiment and maximize returns for their investors. This inverted triangle diagram illustrates the unique financial structure of American sports. Because college athletics sever the traditional development pipeline, capital flows upward. The massive grassroots base at the top pays extreme sums to keep the narrow, professional apex at the bottom afloat. To keep those dues flowing, local youth clubs face immense pressure to keep their gyms full. So, rather than prioritizing actual athletic development, they prioritize selling the illusion of college scholarships and elite tournament bids. The rest of the world approaches athletic development entirely differently. Look at La Masia, the legendary youth training academy for FC Barcelona in Spain. Kids heavily recruited into this system, a pipeline that produced superstars like Lionel Messi, do not pay an entry fee. They don't pay for uniforms, travel, or coaching. They are entirely funded by the club. This standard pyramid model shows how the global system operates. FC Barcelona takes the massive revenue generated at the very top by its professional team and reinvests it downward, removing financial barriers to cultivate the widest possible base of young talent. The American pay-to-play model is a structural anomaly. It functions to extract maximum wealth from everyday families, rather than cultivating the next generation of world-class athletes. When playing a sport requires tens of thousands of dollars, the pipeline naturally filters for wealth. This creates a massive competitive advantage for kids who already have financial security and elite access, like the children of highly paid former professionals such as Matt Holliday. Prioritizing immediate tournament profits over long-term player development cripples international performance. Despite having more youth soccer players than any country on Earth, the United States men's national team failed to qualify for the 2018 World Cup. Compare that track record with Norway. With a population of under 6 million people, they took home 18 gold medals at the last Winter Olympics, easily outpacing the United States because they organized their youth programs around non-commercial goals. Their structural secret is simple. Norwegian sports federations legally ban scorekeeping and hyper-competitive tournament rankings for young children. They focus entirely on retention and the joy of practice, ensuring kids actually want to keep playing. The impact of this system extends beyond the Olympic stage and into a national public health crisis. Public middle schools and high schools offer extremely limited roster spots for their sports teams. To have a realistic chance of making the cut, kids effectively have to pay for private club training beforehand. When families are priced out of the private clubs, they are priced out of the sport entirely. The result is a system where 70% of American kids quit organized sports completely by age 13. Without that physical outlet, those teenagers face drastically higher risks of obesity, depression, and academic struggles. By structuring youth sports as an investment vehicle designed to flow capital upward, the United States has accepted a grim trade. The physical and mental health of an entire generation has been sacrificed to keep the $40 billion machine running.